let's cut a suit. Now in this first video, I'm going to be showing you the step-by-step process to accurately cut your suit. Now note, this involves a lot of calculations, so I would advise that you take your time, do not rush it. I'll show you how to cut the back of the suit, the back panel, the sleeves, and the front panel. So what we're cutting today is a double-breasted suit. See you in the video. So the first thing we're going to be cutting is the back panel. I have my measurements with me. I have my chest, my waist, my suit length. These are basically the most important measurements that we need for the back panel. And then your half length also, which can also be derived from the suit length. First things first, I'm going to draw a starting point line. I'll give about 2 inches space from the edge of the fabric and then mark that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'll add my my length, which is 32.5 inches. So I'm adding my 32.5. And then we're also going to be adding 1.5 inch as our M allowance. This is constant. This is a constant 1.5 inches. Yeah. Now the next thing you want to do is we want to get our chest line for the front, which is also going to help us derive our chest line for the back. And that is simply, we're going to be dividing our chest, which is 44 inches, by 4, which will give me 11. So I'll mark it from here. And the next thing we want to get is where our waist is going to fall. Now if you do not have it, for most men it's usually 16 inches you get, or what you can just do is simply divide your full length by 2. In this case, if I divide my full length by 2, which is 32.5, I have 16.25, so we are still within that 16 inches range. So I'm just going to mark my 16.25 or 16.25. Now another thing you want to do is you want to get a starting point line on this part. So we're just naturally, I would advise that you just measure 1 inch from here all the way, but since I have this ruler, I'll just place it at the edge and then draw. So these are the lines that we're going to be using to draft our back panel. Now if you followed me, this is our starting point line, which is also going to be our shoulder line, our chest line, these are front chest line, which we're also going to use to derive our back chest line, our waist line, and then our full length, our elm line. So now that I've done that, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start adding everything that makes up the back panel. First things first, my shoulder measurement is 20 inches. Now when measuring for the shoulder on the person, ensure to add 1 inch to the shoulder. So which means if the person's shoulder is 18, make it 19. Suit shoulders are broad in nature. Not too broad, but you know, and there are different house cuts, but this is what I use. So 20 inches divided by 2, which will be 10. We're going to use our vertical line. So add it to the chest line, because we want to get a straight line, and add it to this shoulder line. And then draw. Next thing I'm going to do is I'll add my shoulder slope, which is 2 inches, a constant. So we're adding it here. We added it from here, measured it down by 2 inches. Now the next thing you want to do is that you want to calculate for your neckline. Now to calculate our neckline, we're going to be dividing our chest. Now note, for cutting suits, there's a lot of, if your chest measurement is wrong, a lot of things will be wrong, because we derive a lot of things using the chest. So we're going to divide our chest by 12 inches, which will give me 3.6. This will be my neckline on the back panel. So from the vertical line, measure 3.6, mark it, Now on this line, we're going to come up by 0.75 or 3/4 on this line. So, and from this point, you will come down by 0.25. What we just did is we splitted 1 inch into 2 places. 0.75 went up, 0.25 is coming down. So you also mark here 0.25, and with this curve I'll connect both lines, both points. Also with a hip curve, I'll connect from this 0.75 points to my shoulder slope. However, on this shoulder slope will come out by 1 centimeter. So from this line, come out by 1 centimeter. And then using this point of your curve, you connect. And this is what it should give you. Now we're still moving. On our waistline, we're going to come in by 0.75 from our vertical line, so which is also 3/4. 0.75 on our vertical line. Now for men's suits, you know that we always have double vent. So this is not a single vent suit, this is a double vent, which means the vent will fall at the side. Using your hip curve, connect through your chest line. Just like that. Now at this point we came out, we went in by 0.75. On our M line, we're going to go in by 0.25, which is also 1/4 of an inch. And then I'll just connect it straight. This is the line we're going to be sewing on eventually when we want to sew. Now for my waist measurement, I'll be dividing my waist by 6 plus 0.5. Now note, we are going to be adding all our allowances when we are cutting, but for suits you don't need a lot of allowances, so most allowance that you see me adding is 0.5. So I'm going to have 39.5 inches, which is my waist. I'll divide that by 6, which is 6.5 plus 0.5, and I have 7 inches. From this back curve that we have here, I'm going to go in by 7 inches, or go out, whatever you understand it as. So I've added 7 inches here. Now to calculate for my back chest line, which I mentioned from the beginning of this video, is not the same thing. I'm going to be further dividing. Now remember the way we calculated for our neckline. Whatever value we got is what we're just going to divide again by 2. That is to say, what we did was we divided our chest by 12 inches to get our neckline. But to get our back chest line, we're going to divide our chest by 24. So I have 44 divided by 24. What I have is 1.8. And from this chest line, I'm going to go up by 1.8. If you are confused, just go back and watch it again. You will eventually get it. So I'm going to go up by 1.8 and mark it here. So this automatically becomes my back chest line. On this vertical line, I'm going to spread 1 centimeter. So I'm going to spread half a centimeter in and out. So what I have here is here and here, half a centimeter in and out. Now we're going to be connecting. So I'll connect this one that I came in by to my 1 centimeter on the shoulder slope, and I'll connect this one that I came out by to my waistline. So this is what you're simply doing. So now that we've done that, what we are going to do again is our shoulder line, we're going to add it to the end of our suit or of our back panel. So what we have on our shoulder line is 10 inches. I'm also going to add the 10 inches starting from our original vertical line. So I'm going to add the 10 inches here, and then I'll connect with a straight ruler, and then I'll connect it with a ruler all the way down. What we have left to do is to add our vent to it. So we're going to come down here by 4 inches. From our waistline, we'll come down by 4 inches. The size of our vent is 1.5, so we're marking 1.5 here, and we're also marking 1.5 at the M line. You will draw a straight line. Now note, our vent cannot be straight like this, if not you have an issue with your suit. So what you want to do is you want to make it a little slanted. So I'll say come down by 0.75 on the outer part of your vent, and then slant it like this. So automatically this is our back panel. So what I'm just going to do is I'll replace all these lines by 1 inch. So I'm adding this here, 1 inch, 1 inch, and back. And that's it. I would say the back panel is the easiest part of the suit. If you followed through to this point, then congratulations, you are one step ahead. I would advise, do not rush yourself. It's a process, so watch it, practice, and then move on to the next part. I'll see you at the next video.